Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Echoes by Edna, and welcome back to another episode. Once again, it's Edna Nankya, and it's just me sharing a piece of myself with y'all. Yeah. And when I say a piece of myself, I don't necessarily mean a part of myself or like an actual visible part, but I mean just pieces of myself that I've written that are put into words and I've decided to bring them to you so you could find a way of relating to what I'm talking about. Yeah. So it's been a minute. Yeah. I haven't done any episodes for the last 2 weeks, I believe. And I have been thinking about it so much. I remember after the first week when I didn't do an episode, I thought of doing an episode where I was going to share a piece that has a past element. It has an element of talking about the past. And I actually did the piece, I recorded it. And it was so natural. I don't script this, except for the pieces that I've already written, but I don't script what I'm talking about. And honestly, it was really good, but I felt like I was bringing it in at a wrong time. It was too early, yeah. So I had to cut it off. I was like, let me wait for next week. Maybe I'll do something else because now in that week I was already just inspired in the whole mood of the past. So that's how I got up and just ended up not doing anything for the last 2 weeks. But yeah, here we are. So, life is good. Life is good, yo. How are you? I hope you all are having a great life. And yeah, thank you all for giving me feedback and for checking in and what I'm up to. Especially for those who know me. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. And so today's episode, I want to share a piece called Lessons, and just to share a bit more about these pieces, most of the pieces that I write, I come up with a moment, not a moment just out of the blue. It it's a moment that I happen to live. I happen to have lived somewhere in my life, at least from the days that I remember. And when I think about that moment, and somewhere I connect it to another moment, and uh, they're just connecting in a certain way that is just making sense to me. In that moment, I start writing about it. And I'll be detailing you more on what I mean when I explain this piece called Lessons, just after I read it, of course. So it goes, Lessons. They don't hold on tight enough for me to want them to stay. Most times it feels like I'm threading myself into them. Delicate knots that are easily undone. The way they weaved into each other smoothly for a while. Just that way we laughed and leaned on each other. It almost felt like we belonged in the same pair or in the same path. Then somewhere along the way, it got messy, tangled in slow detachment. Now even thought of untying doesn't feel right, but neither does staying knotted to what no longer fits. The slipping through at the ends, and I'm left trying to catch the pieces before they completely fall apart. I don't know if I should try to tighten the knot or just let it fall loose. You know, I'm wondering, should I tie the knot? Should I let it fall loose? Yeah? Anyone relate with that? Hmm? um, drawing back to lessons. Lessons, I mean, the canvas shoes that we put on in primary school, or the sneakers that you could be wearing right now. You have lessons on them. It could be the pro shoes that you go into office every day. You know, those laces. Have you ever tied your laces and while you're walking, they start unfolding, they start loosening up? Yeah. And you look down and you see it loosening up, and you're like, let me hurry until I get here, then I'll bend and tie them. You get that point. Yeah? Or maybe they loosen up. Okay, you see them loosening up. And like, by the time you get somewhere, they've actually now, they've let go. And now you have to bend down and tie them because once they're down, they're going to get dirty. And you don't want dirty. You don't want the hassle of putting on something that is dirty. So you're just walking around with the laces, and maybe you know your laces don't hold on tightly. Anyway, just shifting away from that, I wanted to bring in that perspective of laces, what exactly I mean. So the piece that they don't hold on tight enough for me to want them to stay, most times it feels like I'm threading myself into them, delicate knots that are easily undone, the way they weaved into each other smoothly for a while. So I'm talking about a relationship. And I am not meaning a love relationship, just a love relationship. There's so many relationships that we can form. But of course, because of the easiest way I could explain this, I'm going to use, or I'm going to draw from the perspective of love relationships. You know, you meet this person and you guys connect, and it's just making sense. And you guys want to be with each other. You show that you want to be with each other. You know, that's how usually the first stages of relationship starts. And so you guys get together, and along the way you start, maybe you start showing less effort. The other party shows less effort, maybe the man or the girl, and you start feeling like they don't actually want to stay because they're no longer showing that urge or that feeling that they showed at the start. So they don't hold on tight enough for you to want them to stay. It's like they're no longer showing you that, okay, I really want to be with you, I really want to stay with you. They're no longer showing that to you. So you reach a point and you're like, I no longer want them to stay because probably they don't actually want to stay, but they haven't said it, or probably they want to stay, but you haven't seen it from them. You haven't seen them putting in the effort to actually stay. So it feels like you're just radiating yourself into them, but they're delicate, you know, because sometimes when you're not making so much of an effort, it gets easy to actually do it, you know, especially for relationships. I may speak from some sort of experience, but let's not go into that. So that easily undone, you know, you have threaded yourself into this person's life, you have threaded yourself into their activities, you've weaved yourself into each other smoothly for a while. For those first 3 months, 6 months, you guys have been you have been weaving each into each other's lives smoothly for that whole time. The way you guys laughed, the way you guys leaned on each other, it felt like you guys belonged in the same path, like you guys were gonna be forever, that you were going in the right direction with this person. But then somewhere along the way it starts to get messy, you know. You start to get into entanglements, you get tangled up into quarrels, into messes, you know, and you start detaching from each other slowly. You know, you start falling apart, you go apart, you fall out of love, you know, you fall out of the friendship, you fall out of whatever it could be. You fall out of the business, you no longer like the client is now making too much demands, too many demands, yo. So now even the thought of untying doesn't feel right, because you know it just got smooth at the start, but now it's messy, but the thought of untying doesn't feel right as well. But also neither does staying knotted to what no longer fits. You know, you have that less gamazma kakadi, but you're trying to force it. Okay, it's a show, let me speak that. Yeah? But you're trying to fit into it, but it no longer fits because they're slipping through the ends, and all you left it is to catch the pieces before they completely fall apart. You see this relationship falling apart, you know, through the ends, mpola mpola, and it's gone. But you couldn't do anything because you don't know whether you should try to tighten the relationship, you should hold it together, or you should just let it fall loose. Yeah, that's it. Hope you find meaning in what I'm trying to share here. But I don't like going further than 10 minutes, and it seems that I am going way above myself. But I feel, yeah, you could be relating to what I'm talking about when it comes to lessons. And probably I'll share the link to the real piece itself. You can go read it, and for those who love anyway introspection, you could relate and we see how it goes. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. Echoes by Ednar. And yeah, love you all. Bye.